Good afternoon, grade threes. It's time for ICT again. I hope you have enjoyed communicating with each other and sharing your ideas in your classroom chats this past 2 weeks. Today we're going to look at something different. We're going to look at some artwork. You must be wondering, but it's not an art lesson. Yes, it is not. But we're going to look at how we can use digital tools to create art. We're going to look at how we can use apps on our computer to do some artwork. And you can share your artwork with your art teacher. So, the piece of art we're going to look at, the work of art we're going to look at is the work of a famous artist called George Seurat. Now, this artist painted using a very interesting technique. I am not going to tell you the technique, but I'm going to show you some of his paintings. And then you will tell me how you think the paintings were done. Now it will be very easy because you already learned this with your teacher last semester. So I want you to have a look at these paintings and tell me how you think they were painted. So this is the first one. That's another one. If you look at it carefully, you can see the picture of a man. It's a man's portrait. And then the last one is this. This one is very beautiful. It's very beautiful scenery. So, I want you to think, how do you think those paintings were created? Good. The paintings we just saw were created using dots. So this painter by the name George Seurat created all his paintings using dots. He used fine brushes to paint using tiny dots. Some dots were big, but some were so tiny you would not even notice they were dots. Now, this technique of painting is called pointillism. And I know you discussed pointillism with your teacher last semester. So we're going to look at how we can use our computers to paint using that technique. So we are going to use a special painting app and we are going to use the brush on that painting app. So we are going to learn how to change the brush. So we are going to learn how to change the brush size so that we can produce very fine dots. Now, I am going to show you how to do that.
So before we start painting the way George Seurat used to paint with dots, we are going to find some information about George Seurat. So we are going to do some internet research. We're going to do some research on the internet. That means we're going to go to the internet to find some information about George Seurat and his paintings. Now remember last semester Ms. Bor told you that when looking for information on the internet, you have to use a child-friendly site. We don't use Google to search for information because Google gives you information that is a bit difficult for you to understand. Information given by Google is easily understood by adults, but for children like you need to go and use a child-friendly site, and that site is called Kiddle. Now, how do we go to Kiddle? To go to Kiddle, you can go to Google and you type Kiddle. That's how Kiddle is typed. Kiddle. And then you press enter. Now, when you do that, it takes you to a place where you have a link. So you have to click on that link so it takes you to the site. Now look at Kiddle. It's child friendly, looks very kiddie. Even the name, look at the beautiful colors. Now Kiddle is Google for children. It is Google for children, so it gives you information that you can understand. So we want to find out information about George Serwat. So we have to go and type George Serwat. Surat. George Surah. So we type George Surah, then we press the search button or we press enter, and it takes us to some links. Now there are two links here. You can choose where you want to find your information. So when you type a keyword in the search box to help you find information, the internet gives you different places to find your information. So there's this first link that says George Surah Facts for Kids. So that's one place you can use. And then there's George Surah Facts and Information, Primary Facts. Now you can open this and see if you like the information there, if you think it's easy to understand. So that is what it gives you. It even gives you a picture of Surah, and it gives you many other links, and I think that information is a little too much. So you might decide, okay, that's not the one you want to look at. Then you can then go back and try this second one. George Surah, facts and information. So you click that. Let's see what type of information there is here. Good. This looks very, very child friendly. Very child friendly. It says primary facts. It's in beautiful color. Then you go down there. Perfect. It even gives you the information in point form. So it's easy for you to understand. So it tells us Georges Seurat was born on 2nd December 1859 in Paris, France. So that is part of the information you're going to put down. So that is how you get to the site where you find information for George Seurat. Now, in your Google Classroom, Miss Bor has put a template like this. Now, I have already typed out the title for you, and then there are boxes where you're meant to put your information. The information you find in Kiddle, you're going to put in these boxes. So the first box in red, you're going to type about Surah. What did you find out about him? And what can you type about him? When was he born? Where was he born? Where did he go to school? That's just example of information you can write about him. But I want it to be your choice. Choose what you can type about him. Now you can type in point form, you can type numbered words, or you can type sentences. So I want you to try and type at least 5 sentences about George Seurat in this box. At least 5 sentences. Then in this blue box, you're going to type about his paintings. Remember, he was a painter. You need to find information about his paintings. How did his painting look? How did he make his paintings? How did he paint? So here I will leave it to you to choose the number of sentences you want to type. You can type as many as you want about the paintings. Then in the middle, there are two boxes. Now in this box, you to put a picture about George Seurat, and in this bottom box, you're meant to put a picture of a painting. So I'll just show you how to go about this. To type in this box, you have to go and click and rub what I have put there. So you can rub that out and start typing about George Seurat. So you can go and rub out that. After you erase, you start your own sentences. The same thing on this side. Now, we all remember how to put a picture. So I'm just going to show you how to put the first picture. To put a picture, you don't need to go to Kiddle. Remember, you go to the image tool here. Can you see that? You click on it, and then you click search the web. And then it brings Google here. Remember, Miss Bor says it's okay to look for pictures in Google, but if you're looking for text or information that is written, you need to use Kindle because Kindle gives you information that you can easily read. So I'm there, so I'm going to type, I want a picture of George Seurat. So I go and I type George Seurat. And then I press enter. Now let's see if we get the pictures of our painter. Now it gives you pictures of his painting. Remember, you also need pictures of his painting. So from just that keyword, George Seurat, you can get pictures of his painting and you get his picture. Here is his picture. So I click on that and I click insert. Now that picture is going to come out big. So I'm going to have to make it small. Can you see that? So I'm going to make it small using those handles. I resize it and then I can bring it in this box here and move it there. So that is where I will put his picture. Before you put his picture in that box, you can actually go and grab the instructions. You can delete, erase the instructions, and then you can put your picture there. And I am sure you now know how to do everything to do with pictures, how to search for pictures. So I want you to go to Google Classroom, open the template that is called George Seurat's painting. Get to Kindle, get your information,